very much. It's good that I'm last because I think I can tie some things together here, because a lot of the situations that you heard about have to do with a lack of resources. Okay, so usually we're looking at a situation where we have a lack of resources, and I think we need to create a means to produce those resources. And that when we talk about local economies, we need to understand that we do not exist in isolation. We are part of another system, and we need to look at the bigger picture to see how we fit there. Now, when I was a boy on the farm, at times when I was just taking a rest doing my chores, the boss would say to me, "Don't just stand there, do something." And though it might have grated me back then, it's very practical advice right now, because over the past 30 years, economically and politically, we've been having some very profound changes that are going in a very bad direction, and we have no more time to just talk about these things. We need to get out there, and we actually need to do something, and we need to start doing it right now. And many of the problems that you've heard about are caused by one root cause, and that root cause is economic in nature. And the root cause is that within our current economic system, the criteria for investment is to seek maximum profits and maximum growth for the investors. Now, profitability is not enough. It's about maximum profits, and if we achieve maximum profits this year, we want to grow and have more than maximum next year, and ad infinitum increase profitability. And the issue that is really critical here is that corporations are required by law to achieve maximum profit and maximum growth for their investors, or those investors can sue them. Now, how do corporations then achieve maximum profit and growth? How does this criteria for investment root its way through our entire society? Well, first thing they can do is they can produce products and keep the prices as high as possible and costs as low as possible. Lower costs means possibly lower quality raw materials, lower wages, no benefits, outsourcing, and layoffs when profits are down. So another way that corporations are profitable is that they can purchase another company that's successful, that has sales, that's had a long-time workforce, and they can buy that corporation, pillage it for its assets, lay off the workers, keep only what they need, and take the sales and the good assets. In fact, that's one of the quickest and most effective ways to book profits and growth. Other than, of course, outright Enron-style lying. Another thing we can do is we can create more products. Okay? If we create more products, we have to sell more products. Well, what if there's no need for more products? Then we'll create more needs. And how do we create needs? That requires more commercials and more advertising and sticking kids in front of the television when they're 2 years old. And you and I sit in front of that too, and 25% of the time that you're watching it, they're trying to sell you something. When we create more needs and we create more products, well, sales are up. That requires more resources. And if we use them up here, or we use them there, we'll get them over here and over here, and unfortunately the planet is round. And there's only one. All this requires more energy. It produces more waste, more pollution, results in less resources remaining. Less resources remaining means less resources available, resource depletion. Resource depletion could mean resource wars. God forbid we get ourselves into one of those. And as this whole process goes on, the larger and meaner get larger and leaner and even meaner. The rich get richer while the middle class erodes and joins the poor. Wealth concentrates. Here's some interesting statistics. In the USA, 1% of the US population owns almost 50% of all of the private property. Less than 9% owns 92% of all of the private property. As of 2001, 1% of the population owned 50% of all the investable liquid capital. Of every 10,000 people in that year, 20 made more in the sales of stocks and bonds than the other 9,980 combined. Most of the property and money in America is in the hands of relatively few people. Now, for anybody who plays Monopoly, you know how much fun it is when everybody else has all of the assets and all of the cash and you've got 50 bucks in Baltic Avenue, hoping that you'll make it to go to pick up your $200 paycheck. And that's if you don't make it to jail first. And it's tough enough doing that in a game, never mind, it is happening in real life. Every child, that young baby over there, is born into a society that is in the game that I just described to you. Every child, without a silver spoon in their mouth, is playing this game. As well as concentrate, special interests infect the political process. And when special interests infect the political process, ordinary people become cynical. And they stop voting. And when ordinary people stop voting, the unelected take office. And when the unelected take office, well, just read the newspaper. This is the result of maximum profit and growth for few investors. This is the goal and foundation of our current economic system. It lives for this purpose. And the younger folks out there, you don't have to accept this. You don't have to accept what's being handed to you. You can look at it and say, no thanks, because we can do better. And we're in the most important 25 years, I believe, of humanity. This is the 25 years where we decide who's going to control this planet. Corporations or communities. And I think that the younger folks will be the most powerful force in making that determination. And in fact, I believe it will be the calling of their generation. But we all need to act together, and we all need to act now. Our current economic system has decided not only favors the corporations, it virtually guarantees them control. On top of all of this, our current economic system is unsustainable. It's already unraveling. Corporate capitalism is killing itself and the planet, and it does not know how to stop. Anything that the Bernanke's and the Bushes do is simply rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, and the rest of us can stand on that deck and sing with the band, or we can sing a different tune and build the lifeboats. We need to understand that this system is not immutable. It is a construct of humans, and as such, it is subject to revision. It is easier to embark on a new path than to waste time repairing the unrepairable and the unworthy. It is time to move in a new direction and build an alternative economic system that works compatibly within the current system of corporate capitalism. A system not based on maximum profits and growth for the few, but on adequate profits and sustainable growth for the good of all. It's time to plant a seed in the womb of corporate capitalism and to nurture that seed. So just as an unhealthy mother can give birth to a healthy baby, we can use corporate capitalism to give birth to a new generation of capitalism, community capitalism. What is community capitalism? It's an economy where communities as entities use the tool of capitalism to acquire massive amounts of wealth just as individuals and corporations have been doing for 200 years. Where communities as investors in partnership with existing businesses and entrepreneurs own corporations. Where community-owned corporations seek only adequate profits and sustainable growth for the good of all. I have a person that I met once. He was a licensed locksmith, but he liked to call himself a safecracker. And he said that the police would sometimes call him to open a safe that might have been associated with a crime. He was required to do it without doing any damage. No explosive, no cutting torches, just a bit of knowledge and human dexterity. He told me that no matter how imposing the safe looked, he could open it because he knew enough about its internal mechanisms. In fact, he said when manufacturers build safes, they do competent safecrackers a favor by including everything they need in order to crack that safe right inside the safe itself. And if the doors were transparent, he said, it would be obvious how to open them to reveal the treasure inside. So what's my point here? Simply this: our current economic system provides everything we need to build in a new system that works for everyone. It provides everything we need to do to swing open the doors to the treasure inside. No bombs, no violence, no one to stand in the way to stop it. The treasure is there for the taking. What's the treasure? The treasure is a sustainable community that won't destroy the environment. Where communities are not only more powerful than corporations, they own corporations too. Where people are more valued than profits. Where the economically powerful special interests are communities, not corporate interests. Where decentralized local economies are vibrant and controlled by local citizens, not by governments or municipalities, and are connected to other local communities around the nation and the planet for the purpose of helping each other, unfettered by geopolitical boundaries. Where small businesses flourish, farmers are profitable, and children do not go to bed hungry. Where people have access to living wage jobs, affordable housing, food, medical care, and education, and time for their families, community life, and spiritual renewal. This is the treasure that we need to create a sustainable and a hopeful future for all. If I had said this when I was young, with little experience in these matters, I would have been told that's a utopian dream. But now that I'm older with much more experience, I can say that this is no utopian dream. This can definitely be done. That is, if people want to do it. And it is time to do it now. In fact, it's already begun here in this valley. And this will be the first such economy like that of many that we hope to form around the nation and the world. The roadmap to a new economic direction has now been drawn. The road to do it in this valley was finished last week. There are already a few travelers walking the path. We now need more travelers, and you are the first to be invited. The work to create this roadmap began in East Hampton at 11 a.m. on the morning of January 1st, 2000, the first day of Millennium 2000. Because it was born on that day, it was designated E2M. During these past 7 years, the pieces have been steadily set in place. Since then, one person became 3, then 8, then 20, and more. The model now has the support of educators, elected officials, entrepreneurs, labor leaders, individuals, and students. E2M, what it does is it enables communities as entities to use the tool of capitalism to create enormous amounts of wealth. And when communities have wealth, they can invest with a new vision and create the treasure we need. When communities pick up the tool of community capitalism, corporate capitalism cannot compete. I want to say that again. When communities pick up the tool of community capitalism, corporate capitalism cannot compete. The E2 model is based on harnessing the purchasing power of individuals, just as a laser aligns very weak rays of light to produce powerful beams powerful enough to vaporize metal. Normally uncoordinated economic transactions can be coordinated to create a sustainable network of E2M citizen-controlled economic communities. It requires no new legislation nor the permission of any agency. It can be done at the will of the community with practically no effort on their part, just by doing the things that they already do in a slightly different way. And if I had more time, I'd tell you right now exactly how to do this, but I don't. So we're going to tell you exactly how to do this in the East Gallery at 1 o'clock for those of you who are interested. For those of you who can't make that, we have a table up in the back. If you give us your email address and your phone number, we will keep you in touch and help you to determine and send you some emails that will show you exactly how you can participate in this without practically any effort. We're not going to ask you for any money. We're not going to ask you for your time. We're just going to tell you how to do some things very differently. It is time to act. It's time to act now. This can all be done. Thank you very much.